Hi, it's Sean, the Fluency Awesomizer. This is Decoding Multi-Syllabic Words, episode 92. I've got 3 words I'm going to take a close look at today. Let's get started here. I want you to read these words right out loud. What's this first word? It's a big word. What's this? Ooh, not a big word. And the third word. All right, today's a good episode. Were any of those tricky to read? Did you need more time to read them? Well, keep watching. I'm going to show you some decoding strategies that you might want to recall next time you get stuck on big words like those when you're reading independently. But first, a reminder of the fable, The Tortoise and the Hare, and the moral, slow and steady wins the race, which is great advice to keep in mind when you do get stuck on big unfamiliar words like this one, for example. Think of these words as races. There is a finish line, and if you read like the hare, you might want to get there as fast as you can. You'll zip through a big word like this. That's where mistakes can easily happen, but if you read like the tortoise, you take it slow and steady when you come to these words. That patience is definitely going to improve your ability to decode them when you're reading independently. All right, keep that in mind. Let's practice. All right, really big word here. I'm going to demonstrate that sometimes it's a perfectly good idea to start breaking apart a big word at the finish line. That might be where the tricky part is. And everybody knows it's a race to the finish line. You have to be in shape to get there. So there's ation, and that would be lation. It looks like the syllable mull there. Is that mullation? Or could that be the open syllable mulation? Is that cumulation? Looks like accumulation. Yeah, this word's hard to read. It's accumulation. That is a noun, really tricky word. And the root word is accumulate, which is a verb. The origin of that word goes way back to Latin. Cumulus. Cumulus in Latin means a heap or a pile. And you've seen big puffy clouds like these. They're called cumulus clouds. Cumulus now, but because they're in a big pile or a heap. But in Latin, it's cumulus. And that CU there in the MU does not say QMU. All right. Just give me a second, I'll explain that. There's another Latin word, accumulation, accumulatus. That means to pile up or amass, like money. Accumulatus. That part of the Latin word transferred over to French, where they added an E and got the French word accumulat. Accumulat. The French turned that syllable CU into a Q sound and the MU into a mu sound. And that's where we got the English word accumulate, right? Literally the same spelling as that French word, a lot of French in the English language. And you got to know this letter U can sometimes sound like you, not just oo, but you. So I like to say when you can sound like you. So when you says you say accumulate, right? That's what makes this word really tricky to read. And this CU, you see it all the time in words like cute and cucumber. And MU, you see the mu a lot too, and music and amused, right? It's just one more reason that English is a tricky language to read, all right? And accumulate, you hear that word a lot when you talk about snow and the weather. The news channels, the weather always covers snow accumulation. There's 10 to 16 inches right in the middle. That's a lot of snow, but this is a lot of snow. That's talk about accumulate. So accumulate's got an E, a silent E at the end. You're going to drop that E and add ION to get accumulation. All right, let's talk real quick about this Latin root ATION, ation. It is not spelled the way it sounds. All right, you see it a lot in nation to bigger words like celebration. That's why I like to start sometimes at the end, breaking up a big word at the end, because you might see that ation. In English, it sounds like Asian or Asian, so you might be tempted to spell it that way too, but you got to remember it's ATION. Speaking of that, here's another word I'm going to start at the finish line. There's Asian again, and nation. Back in the beginning, that could be cull or sul. Well, that C is followed by a U, so you might know this by now. That when C is followed by U, it's guarantee it's going to be a hard C sound. It's going to sound like a K, cull, not sul. All right, and there's min, Asian. Yeah, this is the word culmination. That's a noun. The root word is culminate, which is a verb. And the origin of that word is also ancient Latin. This is the word culmen in Latin. It has to do with the top or the peak, top of the mountain, or even a rooftop, culmen. There's another Latin word, culminare, which means to top, like to top your ice cream with a cherry on top. There's another Latin word, culminatus, and that's where English took that part of that Latin word, culminate, transferred over to English, and they added an E at some point in history to get the word culminate. And that culminate ends with a silent E. I'm going to drop that and add ION to get the noun culmination. Culmination. And culmination still means the highest point, or really means the high point, like graduation is the high point of many years of going to school. The high point is you graduate, culmination. A reminder about this Latin root, A-T-I-O-N. It's not spelled the way it looks in English. It's pronounced it Asian or Asian, but it's not spelled that way. You got to remember. Oh, there it is again in my third word. Again, it's okay to start at the finish line sometimes when you're breaking up a big word. There's Asian. And this is L-I in the middle. That's an open syllable. There is an extra I in this word. Did you notice that? So maybe that's the open syllable, liation. Back in the beginning, it looks like humil. Humil. Wait a minute, you can sometimes say you. Could this be humiliation? Oh, this is humiliation. Yeah, humiliation. That's an abstract noun. The root word is humiliate, which is a verb. That also goes back to a Latin origin. Humiliare in Latin. Humiliare. That's where the I sounds like a long E. We get that from Latin. Humiliare. So know that about the letter I. Sometimes it makes an E sound. That means to humble, or meant to humble, or embarrass. Humiliare. There's another form of that word in Latin, humiliatus. And from that big Latin word, English took most of that word, added an E to get the English word humiliate. The HU says hue, all right? So at some point in history, English started pronouncing that HU as hue, and the U says you, right? Humiliate. So humiliate ends with a silent E, drop it in at an ION to get the noun humiliation. I think we're all familiar with humiliation. Humiliation. A reminder that Latin root, it's not spelled the way it sounds. It sounds like Asian or Asians. You got to know it's A-T-I-O-N. Recognize it when you're reading and know it when you're spelling. All right, that's it for today's lesson. Subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Facebook. Tell a friend, a family member, or a teacher about me too. Spread the good word. At my Facebook page, there's a photo album full of reading challenges I've written to help you continue practice decoding those big words and to awesomeize your fluency. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. Come back and see me for more real soon. Bye.